So Apple's all-online WWDC 2020 is just around the corner. So let's discuss the final leaks and rumors and what to expect at WWDC. Let's get the video started. So first, let's talk about new softwares, which are going to be announced for sure, 100%. We'll get iOS 14 or iPhone OS 14, and it kind of makes sense for them to rename it because it is called iPhone OS before iOS 4. Because we already have iPad OS, Watch OS, TV OS, and Mac OS. So Apple's bring back the classic naming. As for iPad OS 14, we don't know much details, but these are probably gonna focus on fixing bugs and improving stability, and not a feature-rich update like iOS 11 and 13. This iOS 14 is going to be a lot like iOS 12, where not many new features were introduced. But still, there's gonna be some new things. Leaks say that Apple is working on a new fitness app and also an AR app, so you don't have to find third-party ones anymore. It's also probably going to be the last version of our iOS supporting A8 and A9 devices like the iPhone 6s and the first gen SE, as well as the iPad Air 2 and Mini 4. As of WatchOS, well, one thing we know for sure is that it will probably have new watch faces. tvOS, nobody cares. The macOS 10.16 is probably going to be the first macOS version to support ARM Macs, which we'll talk about later. And we still don't know much about it yet, but I know there's going to be some new features. And as of the naming, well, we still don't know yet, but personally, I think macOS Sequoia sounds pretty nice. And also, does anyone still remember OS 10 Weed? I still do.
OS 10 Weed.
Now let's talk about hardware that's going to be announced for sure. I don't know if this counts as hardware, but Apple's going to announce their transition away from Intel to their own processors. It's a good move for Apple because they don't have to wait for Intel to release new processors so they could update their Macs. Their A-series chips are already very powerful. The A12X and Z chips inside the iPad Pros even outperforms 10th gen quad-core i5s. They are also very energy efficient, so a 12-inch MacBook or MacBook Air that outperforms 10th gen Intels and has like 15 hours of battery life when you're not doing intensive tasks, it will be like the dream laptop. The next hardware that's going to be announced for sure is a new redesigned iMac, because iMac hasn't had a design change since 2012 and a major redesign since 2009, even before Steve Jobs died. It looks very outdated in 2020 with the thick bezels plus the massive chin. And you know what? None of the iMacs right now ship with SSDs as standard. You have to pay extra for it. That's right, they still ship with spinning mechanical hard drives or SSD hard drive hybrids. Leaks say the new iMac will have an iPad Pro or Pro Display XDR-like design, 10th gen Intel processors, and AMD Navi GPUs. But I know what you're asking. Why are they still using Intel processors? Didn't you say that they're switching to ARM? Well, it's a long-term process. It's going to take at least 2 years for their laptop line to switch entirely to ARM and even longer for their desktops. So Intel is going to stick around for at least several years. So yes, finally a new iMac design. And here's the stuff that is probably going to be announced, but not 100%. First, the AirPods Studio, Apple's over-ear headphones, is probably going to be priced at $350, according to Prosser the Great. It'll be a competitor to the Bose and Sony over-ears. It's going to have changeable ear cups, and that's all we know right now. Second is AirTags, a tile-like device that can track stuff for you. You can stick it on your bag or something and your iPhone can find it for you if you lose it. If you have an iPhone with a U1 ultra wideband chip, it can probably bring you to the item within a foot, which is very impressive. And that thing is going to happen for sure. If it's not announced at WWDC, is probably going to be announced at the September or October or March event. Because Apple support screwed up, just like they always do, and published a video of how to restore your iPhone with an internal software build. So in the scene where they're turning off Find My or something like that, it says, ooh, blah, 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 AirTags, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, Apple leaks their own stuff, but at least they're better than Google. Third is a new Apple TV 4K with an A12X processor, for whatever reason. it's still gonna be expensive, and only like 20 people or something are actually going to buy it. So yeah, these are what you can expect at WWDC. I'm going to do a video covering these things when they actually got announced on Monday. And stay tuned for the full review of the 2020 SE soon. Bye.